Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about Unity software and answer if the stock is a buy right now. So to look at that question, I'm going to consider the company's revenue, cash flow, profit, and valuation, and then come up with the conclusion, should investors buy Unity software at current prices? So let's jump right in. Looking at revenue, and you can see Unity software generating nice revenue growth in recent years, growing from about 600 million in revenue all the way up to 1.8 billion in the most recent year. Of course, recently Unity made an acquisition with ironSource or a merger, and that's helped boost revenue, making it look stronger than if the company was to grow organically. And so you got to keep that in consideration. It's not the company's organic growth that looks this strong over the last couple of years, it's the result of an acquisition. In fact, this year management is expecting revenue to grow at less than double digits, And so it's not growing at the north of 30% revenue growth rates this company was accustomed to growing before 2022 or so, when economic growth really slowed down. And so now I want to look at the company's operating profitability, and this shows a troubling trend for Unity software. As the company's revenue has grown, its operating income has fallen down to negative 959.82 million. And you may have heard in recent developments that Unity software is changing the way it's charging its customers, now charging a runtime fee and backdating that effective starting January 2024. That's going to be interesting to see how it results in, are they going to lose customers? Are they going to receive, and they have received a lot of complaints from existing clients, and are they going to lose market share to rivals as a result of this decision to make it more unfriendly with its relationship with developers? So that's going to be interesting. However, if all goes well, that move could boost the company's revenue and profitability because it's incremental revenue on top of existing revenue with little cost of goods associated with the change. So that's going to be interesting to look out for, see how that development pans out. I also wanted to look at the company's cash flow from operations because sometimes tech companies use significant amounts of stock-based compensation, which can make cash flow from operations positive even when profitability is negative. That's not the case for Unity software. Negative cash flow from operations, negative 75 million. It was going downward for several quarters straight. It did make a turnaround. However, before I can comfortably say it's back on an upward trend, I would like to see more consecutive quarters of increases in this metric. But for now, it's good that it turned upward. Good news, but it needs to follow through. And finally, I wanted to look at valuation. Unity software is trading at a forward price to sales of 4.66. That's down significantly from the forward price to sales of near 40 it was trading for at one point in time. But the company's in a much different position than it was in 2021 and 2022. I mentioned earlier that that revenue growth used to be north of 30% per quarter year over year, and it's fallen to expected of less than 10% right now. So if you look back here in 2022, the company's cash flow from operations was approaching 100 million positive, and revenue was growing quarter over quarter, year over year, over 30%. So when you've got company generating positive cash flow from operations and growing the top line robustly, yes, it's understandable that investors would be willing to pay a significantly higher valuation for the stock, but it's in a different position now. Cash flow from operations is negative, operating income has continued to move downward, and revenue growth in 2023 is expected to be less than 10%. That's on top of the issues it has with its advertising platform. Remember, it made that acquisition of ironSource to help shore up its weaknesses in monetization advertising capabilities. And then also with this new change upsetting developers. And so, for all of those reasons, I would say investors should wait a little while longer before buying Unity Software stock. I would want to see more progress towards profitability before I could recommend buying Unity Software stock. That or a return, a reacceleration of revenue growth north of 20%. If you're not going to demonstrate progress on profitability, at least show me very strong revenue growth. You got to give me one or the other. Right now, Unity Software is not giving me either. And so for that reason, I would recommend waiting before buying Unity Software stock.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.